everyone. How's everyone doing? We are excited to be back. I have my friend Pete here, and we are starting a very exciting series for you guys with Life Out Loud.
Let's go.
It's kind of Pete's idea, so
boy.
we obviously have a lot, but this is something I've been wanting to do with you guys for a long time because this is what life's all about. Life Out Loud. And it's going to be definitely based on relationships and love and all the things that we really struggle with at the end of the day.
I mean, for me, coming from a man, we're so afraid to be vulnerable in relationships and talk about our feelings. And when you and I had talked about this idea, I was like, we have to put this on tape because I think getting both perspectives of a man and a woman at one table, talking about their differences, experiences, might help you guys. So here we are.
And I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else.
I know. Like the day we met, we had like that connection where we could just talk about anything and be open
and vulnerable
with each other.
And comfortable,
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
good. So this first episode is my favorite topic. And I say this all the time in every relationship that I've been in, when love isn't enough, and it's just not.
Yeah, because sometimes we think that, love will carry you to the finish line. And sometimes that's not the case, right? And I would say most of the times that's not the case.
Right.
Because I found myself in love before, and I found myself trying to prove my love where other things didn't exist. So love isn't enough.
Nope.
There's so many things, and we talk about like what you want to do and how and where you want to be as a man and in a relationship. Love itself on the surface seems great, right?
Yeah.
But I think knowing what love is to you before you get in a relationship is super important. And we had talked about this before, and I'll kick it off with, I think, and I'm sure you've heard this before, the greatest act of love is not giving love. It's not feeling love. It's not showing those emotions, but it's loving someone in a manner where you're gentle enough and you're deliberate enough where they start to love themselves again.
Yeah.
And it's not about how they love you. It's, can you love yourself again?
Right. Truly. And I think that too, we come off, or I know for me and you, I can say this for you too, is really strong people that we love ourselves enough. We look like that. I mean, we are, but I think this goes for people that are strong too, because even the strongest, right?
Course.
We want to be loved, and we want all the same things that everybody else here wants. Whether you're in a bad place in life, or whether you're just not, you're just not in your best self, your best mindset at all times. I think it goes for all of us. Even me, even when I'm in my strongest state of mind, we just want love. We want to be loved and
recognize what it takes to make that relationship work, because oftentimes we fall in love so fast that we forget that there's other variables that matter more than the simplicity of love itself, the word, not the emotion behind it, but the word. And I think we often forget that it's easy to say I love you.
100%.
Right? It's very easy to say
it's that feeling. It's those feelings in the beginning.
Right. But what is the work that goes in behind it? Because love itself shouldn't have an ego. Love takes sacrifice. You shouldn't have to chase love.
Right.
Right? Like all of those things, when we talk about ego, you have to be willing and ready and have emotional maturity to understand that I have to be vulnerable in a relationship. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to put yourself in a position where you're uncomfortable.
Right.
And you're not always right.
And when he says ego, when it's like me saying, Pete, I don't like that you did this, or it's taking your ego away and being like, I didn't do that. It's not that. It's really being able to listen and not speak so much too.
That, to me, that's important, because I think ego is a big part of relationships and where the downfall comes, because we're so afraid to show our true colors to our partner so fast, right? We stay guarded, probably because of experiences, right?
Right.
For years I stayed guarded. And I've been on, let me preface this, I've been on both sides of this where I probably wasn't the best partner, and I probably have done some of these traits where I had to learn from that the hard way, right? But now looking back on the other side of it, you can't have an ego in a relationship. You can't be so narrow that you're afraid to admit when you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
How about when you've been on that opposite side, right?
Yeah.
And you haven't been a good partner, and then you've done all the things to try to be a better partner, and then the next partner you get with is that partner that you were in the beginning, the unhealed one.
Oh my God.
And how frustrating is that?
You know what?
Because now you're like, okay, I'm ready. I know how to communicate. I feel able to be vulnerable, all these things. And now you're dealing with your old version.
It honestly was a wake-up call, and is a wake-up call, because once you're able to recognize that was me, you start to then realize, okay, I don't even know. I'm pouring into this person, and I already know the ending to the book.
Right.
I already know how this is going to end.
But you want to give them, you want to be patient with them because you're just you're looking in the mirror.
Right.
But do you be patient with them, or do you give them the grace? And it's like, if you know the ending of the book.
You know what? I do, because it's to a fault. And I've put myself in a position recently where I was that person who was patient, and I over poured that cup that we talked about in that last podcast we did, where I was understanding, forgiving, but then I started to question, why am I making myself so small for somebody who doesn't have the emotional capacity to accept love?
Right.
Why am I doing that to myself?
Right.
But it's a slippery slope.
It is.
It is a slippery slope.
So, what do we wish we knew before falling in love? That was one of our topics.
I thought about that a lot, because that itself is like, if you had the answers, you would never question what love is itself, right? Like, if you had the answers, it wouldn't be so hard, right? But I think at the end of the day, if you knew that love takes sacrifice, and that love isn't perfect, it might aid in your journey in your pursuit of true happiness.
Right.
There's so many times where we invest ourselves into somebody, and we put our heart and soul into somebody, and we're looking for that same amount of love in return. So I think understanding that it's okay that you don't love each other on the same level.
Right.
That is okay.
Like, I saw something one time, it was like, about that 100%, right? Sometimes the man or the woman's at 80, you know what I mean? And then the other person's at 20. It's as long as we can give each other 100% equally.
Correct.
Right?
There's no secret that love takes work, and we're going to talk about some of that work on this episode.
Right.
But like, there's two people in a relationship, the adorer and the adored. And most people want to be the person who adores, because you want to give love.
Right.
And as long as you said, like we meet in the middle somewhere, and we share the same core values, and we're not minimizing ourselves to fit in each other's lives, the sky's the limit at the end of the day.
Yeah, let's talk about those core values, because even though that's kind of at the end of the list, I think that you just brought it up.
We can talk about that.
We touched on what our core values are, and it's, in love, right? And for us, I think, for me, it's respect, it's honesty, loyalty, and those are my three big ones. So the respect, the honesty, and loyalty are huge.
So all of those are your essentially your boundaries, right?
Yeah, those are my boundaries, right?
Those are essentially what you focus on, and now what I focus on in a relationship, where I'm going to communicate those boundaries to you, and I'm not going to break them, because I've broken them in the past. And when you break those boundaries, you are losing respect for yourself.
Right.
And
I put them in that order too.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if you respect me, you won't be dishonest with me. If you respect me, you won't cheat on me, right? And if you don't lie to me, you won't cheat on me, right? So like, the loyalty part is the last one for me. It's the respect and the honesty. That's really
right.
Because, we can do things, right, that like, it could be like those little white lies. I mean, those things are huge in a relationship.
Or omitting the truth.
Or admitting the truth, right?
That's a lie in itself.
It's a lie in itself, right? The littlest things, go so far.
We want within those boundaries, it's kind of like a fence around your yard, right? Like you want your love to be your home. You want that person to be your home, your comfort, your safety, your lighthouse when you're lost and at sea. You want that person to be all of those things. But at what cost is that? At what sacrifice is there will be some, and there will be some things that you'll disagree on. But, having someone truly be your home, I think is very special. And I think not putting yourself where you become an Airbnb, like we talked before.
Yeah,
where
like you can't rent space here.
Where you give the code out, you come and go when you please, and then expect the same amount of safety and security when that code expires.
Right.
Because it's going to expire. Right. And then unfortunately on our end, we're left holding the eviction notice. Like they just left the house.
Sticky and confused. Right.
And it's favorite. Like, why do we do that to people?
Yeah.
Why do we pretend or put makeup on something or sprinkles on ice cream to make it seem like I love you so much. I want this so much. But deep down, they know because they've gone through the same thing that they're gonna check into a new Airbnb at some point. That to me is like,
that goes back to the core values. It's like you can't allow somebody to rent space in your Airbnb, their time in your house, and when they are not in a good place. Like if you're not getting those things, those boundaries right up front and center, then that this is not, this is a short-lived thing. And I think we prolong that. And it's like, it goes back to the topic when love isn't enough, right? It goes back to the original part of this whole topic when love isn't enough, because the fun stuff in the beginning is like, it's so fun, right? And it seems, can we talk about, because you said it earlier, the postcard?
Of course. Yeah. So Sarah and I were talking about, like, for me, what is love, right?
Right.
Don't mistake love for attraction.
Yeah.
So I equate it to, you want to go on vacation, right? You want to have a good time, and you've got a bunch of postcards sitting in front of you, and you're like, oh, that one looks great. I love that place.
Looks beautiful.
What do you mean you love that place? Do you love the surface level of it? Do you know anything about it? Do you know anything about the culture? Do you know anything about the weather? Do you know what makes that place tick? Is it a busy city? Is it a rural area? Like, what is it that you love about that destination, right?
No answers.
And attraction is one thing. Love is a completely different thing.
I think that's such a beautiful.
We constantly pick these destinations because we think they're good for us and we think that we're going to love it, and then we get there and we're like, oh, this really wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Right.
So it's easy for the first few months, few weeks to say, oh, I really like this person.
Right.
Like I'm into it. But I think finding out about who they are, because they'll eventually reveal who they are. It always comes out.
Right.
There's no
hiding it. It usually comes out within the first couple weeks, let's be honest.
But we ignore those signals.
Going back to those big boundary stuff, like they usually come out.
We ignore those signals, Sarah. We ignore those signals because we have hope for the relationship itself.
Because we're looking at our older self, right?
Of course. But then not to fast forward, but like if you constantly ignore those red flags and constantly ignore the things that you thought you were healed from, right? Like trauma attracts trauma, right? Like
trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding, right?
Is a thing.
Is not
it's
trauma
like
healing.
Listen, I've been trauma bonded in places where I'm like, oh, this person's just getting out of a breakup, so am I. We become buddy-buddy. It's like a buddy system. We're trauma bonded. We have so much things to talk about, and then something happens, right?
I think some of that's okay, and we may disagree on that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think it's okay if you found yourself with somebody who has trauma, because I don't think anybody's going to come to the table completely clean.
No.
But it's the trauma work that you put in to grow with each other.
Right. That's like, it's very hard. This topic will be probably one we might, banter about, which is good because it is. It's like trauma bonding. We're all trauma bonding, whether it's childhood trauma, relationship trauma, whatever things we've seen, right? But it's what we're doing.
A lot of people like to echo childhood and why they are the way they are. I disagree with that.
I disagree as well.
You
can shift at any point.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? They're not taking accountability for what they're doing. And they're shifting the blame to, well, this is who I am.
Right.
This is what happened to me when I was younger.
Right.
This is the relationship I had with my mom or my dad.
Right.
No. I understand that. I respect that. But it's time for you to be accountable for what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you can't own up to your mistake or you're shifting the blame back on that person, you have the inadequacy to be responsible for your emotional decisions.
Right.
You lack the emotional depth to be a true partner in a relationship because without accountability, you've got nothing.
How do you feel when you're a person or you're in a relationship and they hold you accountable? Do you feel like it's coming from a good place? Do you feel like they don't know anything about you? How could they say this? Or how do you take on that?
For me,
it could be perspective, right? They're holding you accountable from their perspective.
Right. I think when someone is trying to hold you accountable, they're coming from a place where like I might have hurt them, right?
Right.
For the most part, people feel and act based off of emotions, right? So they're trying to communicate to you, listen, I might understand why you're doing this, but I need some more clarity on what's going on. And I like being held accountable because it reminds me that this is not a walk in the park.
Right.
This is love and relationships are challenging as they should be. You should want to challenge your partner. And I think when you're
it's not how you say it. It's right. It's not, wait, what is it?
It's not how you say it or it's not what I don't know.
Right. Like you could say it nicely, right?
Correct. Right. Because sometimes
I think it's how it comes off. The
delivery method
right.
is not, because sometimes I struggle with that.
Do you?
I struggle with my delivery, but I've tried to be so patient and so gentle. But when you're talking to somebody who's not accountable or doesn't want to take accountability, you could be as patient as soft as possible. The message is not getting through.
Right.
So in return, when someone's holding me accountable, I actually look at it like they care.
Yeah,
like they care about this relationship. And
because I feel like it's harder for men to be held accountable.
You know what it is with men? We think logically in relationships and I think women
emotionally
work off emotions.
Yeah.
And for me, when I'm processing something, I'm like, all right, well, this is how logically this makes sense to me. Like, here we are in this place and the decisions going forward and all the pieces are lined up and it makes sense. But I, and many people will tell you, I'm a Cancer and I don't know anything about
other
stars
signs.
and the moons and the signs, but they tell me that I am a true Cancer, which apparently, you wear your heart on your sleeve and you're not afraid to show your emotions. And
right.
And I think that's okay. Like if you know who I am and what I do for work, like I have to be so hard at work. When I come home, I just want to be soft.
So yeah, okay, okay.
I just want to be soft.
Yeah, I could see that.
And appreciated. You show me appreciation, I'll build you a castle.
Yeah. I think for, not mattering what your sign is, I think for women, like you just said, and men, women are very emotional driven, emotional based, and men are more logical, more like black and white. Like sometimes when in relationships in my past, I have been on emotional and when I don't feel heard, seen, and we'll talk about this obviously, but like I spiral emotionally, right? And then sometimes for the man, he's like, I heard you, but then it's like very cut and dry.
But you didn't
There's no emotion. There's like,
you
okay, I heard
you didn't understand me.
Right.
We are often seeing, but we aren't observing.
Right.
We constantly are walking around with our eyes open. And in a relationship, I may see you, but do I understand you?
Right. Right.
Do I get what makes your clock tick?
Right.
Do I understand what makes you go crazy and what drives you wild? Or am I just seeing you on the surface?
Right.
There's no way relationships will grow. And a relationship has to grow. It can't be stagnant. every year or 2 years, in fact, every day, you have to find why you love that person and relearn them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're growing in a relationship, that means you're going to be growing individually as well. And we often forget that love is a choice. You wake up every morning and you say, I choose to love you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important because if I love you is gone unsaid,
mm-hmm.
or if I love you is taken for granted, it will create resentment in that relationship. And if the work isn't put in, the growth will not happen.
Right.
I come from a big family, and I love you isn't said enough, I don't think, although it's there for sure.
Yeah.
I tell my partner I love them often
mm-hmm.
because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Just because I say it twice a day doesn't mean I mean it any less,
right.
you know, but, you know, the word itself isn't enough. And I've found myself in recent situations where I've minimized who I was and compromised my integrity and my self-respect to fit into somebody's shallow, shadowed world, you know, and it's kind of sad, you know, like I'm sure you've been in that position. I can almost guess 1,000% you've been in that position.
Almost every situation has been like the same, you know, you just, whether it's, do you want to be chosen or you want to feel the love,
right?
You know, or this world today now puts on such a, highlight reel of love and a front. Like you go on Instagram and you just want to, I remember I used to do that. Like, of course. I was
everything is a facade sometimes. It's like,
and it's like those people or relationships might be great, but really it's like you don't have to highlight these things, and really just focusing on your relationship is just what's so important.
Yeah, there's, and I'll bring it up, but there's times where we find ourselves, and I brought it up earlier on about what love is to me before getting in a relationship is you should not have to chase love.
Right.
You know, we often put ourselves in a position where it's like, I have to do this for this person, or, okay, I don't want to create any conflict, or I don't want to create any more chaos. When in reality, that person wants the chaos.
Right.
Because that's where they're comfortable.
Right.
They are comfortable in chaos.
Oh,
they are comfortable with the toxicity.
Oh, yeah. I know all about
that. They
that.
get uncomfortable
when
they're receiving real, true love.
Right. When you're the one.
I'm like, there's clearly a disconnect here, because you've never, obviously, have been treated in a manner in which you probably deserved.
Yeah.
And you've completely broken yourself and don't even realize it.
I think for me, like, going back into the dating world after my marriage, it was like you hear so much stuff, and you just, like, for me, I guess my advice for anybody is just like, be yourself. Don't, like, if you want to text them good morning, or if you want to like be the way you want to be, and because I hear so many people, because I do hair, and I hear a lot of women in my chair, and they're like, I don't know if I should text them, or I don't know if I should.
Why do we wait? Why would you wait?
Say and do what you feel is you. You know what I mean? Like, and if it's not for that person, you'll know.
You'll know.
You'll know.
I hate, Sarah, I hate that game.
I know. It's the worst.
Game because I'm a check-in type of person.
Yeah.
This is not me. And if I'm annoying you, that's your emotional inadequacies. Like, oh my goodness, this person cares.
Right. You have been in a place where, on the opposite side, where that person isn't annoying you because you're so into them so much.
Correct.
So it's a you thing.
Right.
It's definitely the person thing. So
in 2025, we are married to our phones. And I say that because if I send you a good morning text and don't hear from you until 1 o'clock in the afternoon,
please.
That is,
how do you feel about, I'm too busy?
No, you know what I'm too busy means? I don't have time for you right now.
Right.
Do you know what? Like, people constantly try to make excuses, and I try to make excuses from my partner and justify why they're doing that.
Yep.
I'm like, oh man, maybe she really was busy. Like,
no.
And now I'm starting to think like, okay, let me back off.
Right.
But
and it's like those games. It's the worst feeling in the world.
I can't do that anymore.
I know.
It's so childish.
It's so childish.
And it comes from an unhealed place. It comes from a place where it's like, I need to put up this big guard and this big front, because if I text that person good morning in the morning, they might get we might get close. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Like
this might actually be something great.
Right.
And so many relationships
they're like
but so many relationships have been spoiled and have expired because each person is playing this game.
Yeah. That is my advice. Be who you want to be. If you want to text in the morning, you want to text goodnight. If you want to say, hey, I got home. Like, all those things. I mean, it doesn't even have to be text. I mean, it goes for so much other things. If you want to send flowers or whatever, but you don't know, like, is it going to be weird? Is it too soon?
No,
is it this?
yourself.
Is that? Be yourself. Because all that does is it's like a misconception of like how good something can be. And if that person is not ready to conceive it, that's on them.
Right. Passed up opportunities.
Who cares if you're annoying or who cares if they say you're crazy or whatever? I see all that. And those are the words I hate. I hate
annoying
hearing those words.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know where that comes from?
Like,
do you know where that comes from? That comes from someone who is trying to deflect the reality of what's happening.
Right.
You caught them.
Right.
In a lie, or you are challenging them to be a better person.
Mm-hmm. You're holding them accountable.
Overwhelming.
So you're crazy.
How is that overwhelming if I'm telling you my feelings are hurt because you've completely disrespected me?
Right.
That is not me attacking you.
No.
That has nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm communicating what is required of you to be a great partner in a relationship that's going to prosper.
Yeah.
I'm not attacking you.
Right. I know. There's so many things that people
At
like.
all.
And this is why the relationship and dating world is so just.
It's the manipulation.
So fucked.
It's the manipulation. It's creating a narrative that hides what's really going on behind the curtain. We are giving VIP access to our partners when they shouldn't even be in the parking lot.
Right.
And we do that because it's human nature to want to see the good in people for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But when we provide that exclusive access, we have to make sure that they truly earned it.
Right.
Or was it just given to them?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to find yourself in a bad situation. And then when they try to change the narrative or use the buzzword manipulate you, it's because they can't stand to look in the mirror and see what truly is happening.
Right.
That mirror is broken. It's distorted.
Yeah.
They don't see past that.
Mm-hmm.
So they create this story, especially when you find the truth out. They make this thing up as if, oh my goodness, that's not really what it is. It's not what you think it is. No. It's exactly what it is.
Right.
Don't try to pull the blinds down and then turn the light on like, oh, nothing's happening here.
Don't deflect.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. That's it. That's like my thing. Just be yourself. I hate when I can't be myself because that goes back to me diminishing me and my self-love and all that, you know? And then I'm questioning myself. Should I answer right away? Like all those little silly, like those thoughts, that little like devil on your shoulder.
I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not going to be this person who shrinks to your comfort level.
Right.
I'm not going to be this person who changes their values and their boundaries because I don't fit in your chaos.
Right. I love that.
We need to treat ourselves with grace and remember that you are worthy of love. Mm-hmm. You are worthy of a good relationship. All of that stuff matters. Mm-hmm. And the chase we fall in love with the chase is almost as like an addiction because you're trying to question, why are you doing this? Mm-hmm. Why is it that you don't want me? What is it about me? Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with the action that they're doing. And a lot of it is a reflection on ourselves and what we want. So when we're going to talk about healing, that is healing.
Truly.
You know, recognizing that stuff and not minimizing yourself is healing in the process.
Yeah. So what are your like what are your big three like non-negotiables?
I would say most of them are like yours, but I'm a big person. Like trust is we can talk about that for hours, but like I have to be able to trust you and trust is earned. And once the lies continue, it's really hard to gain it back.
And I don't think trust goes with like, right, cheating and being like that. I think trust goes from like, are you going to make good decisions in your life that are going to like trickle and maybe not be like good for me?
100%.
Too? Like trust is like a big thing. It's not just like, do I trust you with another woman or another man or out in life next to the opposite sex?
Right.
No, nothing to do with that. It's, are you going to make good life choices? Are you going to,
all
yourself
that a reflection.
Those are huge.
You have a son. I have a daughter.
Right.
Like, are you going to be the person first that you say you are? Back that up with actions. And are you going to defend that love, that honor when I'm not around?
Right.
That's the real work.
Right.
Anybody can say something to your face. So when we talk about what my boundaries are, of course, respect. I think that is the utmost important thing. If you're disrespecting somebody, there's no possible way you can say, I love you, and then 30 seconds later completely lie to you about something. You don't love me.
No.
You use that as like
a weapon or a tool to like take away what you just did.
Correct. They're using it where it's like, oh, I want to be with you. We should be together. Yes. They're tactfully dressing your heart up in comfort because they know they're about to lie to you.
Right.
They know it's coming. It's who they are.
It's actually disgusting.
It when you recognize it, you're like, oh
my gosh,
how did I let this happen?
Yeah.
So respect for sure, loyalty, and that's to my face and also behind my back.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever question, because in a world where the next best thing is at your fingertips, or what you think is the next best thing, I want, if somebody is in your DMs, I want you to not even entertain it. Not, hey, sorry, I'm in a relationship. It's ignore that person because they shouldn't get a second of your energy.
Right.
When we find ourselves in turmoil in our relationship or in a tough spot, that's where the real work begins, right? It's not for that one partner to chase the next ice cream truck because that's a distraction that's going to fulfill your temporary desires. Your temporary desires and wants and validation that you're looking for is only temporary.
Oh, yeah.
Because the distraction you're chasing
it's probably because you're not getting it in a relationship for that moment. Maybe I'll disagree with you on that, because some people could be very happy in a relationship or comfortable in a relationship, seek validation from somewhere else, but that validation doesn't fit within their means, and then want more validation from somewhere else. Agreed.
So why do you need someone to validate you? If you have someone at home telling you, I love you, I would do anything for you. How can we fix this? That's a them thing. Of course, it's them not comfortable in their own skin. It's them thinking that temporarily dopamine hit is going to solve their problems that they've never addressed in the first place.
How do you feel about people that like it's never good enough, right? They're always seeking more, and like the grass is never greener.
I think I truly believe, and we touched on it a little bit, that they have lost themselves internally, and everything around them is just a pretend. Yeah. It's a performance. Sorry is a performance. They don't want to put in the work to actually change the behaviors that created an issue. If you're constantly seeking validation, you are unhappy with who you are as a person. And that's unfortunate, because in a relationship, I think your partner has to have more belief in you than you have in yourself.
Yeah.
If your partner believes in you so much, for example, I'm here doing this, we're here doing this together. If you have a partner, which I don't right now, it should have been this morning, hey babe, I'm super proud of you. I know you're going to knock this out the park, to give you that confidence to walk in here and get that done.
Yeah.
And that's just on the surface level. Like all of those things matter. If you don't have a partner who believes in you like that, what are you doing?
Right.
Why are you in a relationship where there's no trust? It's been broken. There's no compassion. There's no empathy, which I think is a big one. When you don't have empathy as a person, your emotional capacity is deteriorated tremendously. Yeah. Compromise, sacrifice, patience. I think patience in a relationship can help open up lines of communication. It can create a deliberate pause when you need it, because not everything needs to be said.
No,
Not
agree.
everything needs to be said.
I think, again, when your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts can be like, sometimes they could be jumbled, right? Like sometimes they could just be emotional based, not everything needs to be said. I think that writing things down and journaling things are a very safe way and safe place to get your thoughts out, because sometimes we say things we don't mean, like we talked about earlier, like, and sometimes we don't even know exactly what we're thinking and what we're actually feeling.
And guess what happens when you open your mouth? You say things that you end up regretting.
Right. You say things that you don't mean. And sometimes, like, there has been so many times, especially lately with the chaos in my life and just like work and just day-to-day stuff, you just get emotionally triggered by something, and you don't even know what the hell is emotionally triggering you sometimes. Do you ever feel that way? Where you don't even know what it is?
Of course.
Or you're just like frustrated and short-tempered and you don't even know where it's coming from. So you don't even know where it's coming from.
I think though, if you take a moment at the end of the day, sit down and journal, like you said, or write your thoughts down, or retrack like what's happened over the last week. You might be able to identify it.
You might, right. Or they changed, right?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I just, certain people and things know how to trigger you, and sometimes it happens subconsciously, and you react off of that trigger. And I think reacting off of those moments can ultimately cause more harm.
Right.
We're on the flip side, and that's going to be coming in one of the episodes in the future, is creating a silence or creating a distant space does the opposite effect, where one person in the relationship is trying to communicate something because they were triggered by something or because something bothered them, and the other person doesn't want to hear anything about it.
Right.
So they go silent.
Right.
We're not going to talk about ghosting because that's coming up.
No,
but
they're
creating that space because that's where they feel comfortable, because then they don't have to address what actually...
An avoidant. They're an avoidant.
Oh, boy. And an anxious and avoidant in a relationship is a tornado. And that's, again, to be talked about in the future. But when you're avoiding something, it's because you don't want to be accountable for what you're doing.
Right.
So you just pretend it's not there. You don't respond. You play that game like we go back to, and it can only last for so long.
Yep.
The chase is unnecessary. The arguing, the bickering, yes, you will have fights, but I think all of that can be solved through open communication.
Yep.
And somebody who doesn't want to communicate with you, or you pour your heart out to them and they give you one-liners back, they have no emotional stability.
Zero.
And they have no emotional capacity to be like, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is what I require.
Yeah.
If you're not getting that on both sides, it's going to be one-sided the entire time.
And your self-love and self-worth is going to diminish. And I think this really is a good way to close out this episode.
For sure.
For the next one that is going to be unseen, unheard, and still showing up.
Ooh.
Okay.
Still showing up.
Still showing up.
I have a big problem with showing up like that.
Yep.
I am that guy. I do show up. So I cannot wait
to talk about
until next
when you're
episode.
Feeling unseen and unheard, but you're still the motherfucker showing up.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. No, but I'm excited.
All
I hope you guys enjoy the episode.
Yes.
Stay tuned for the next one. Unseen, unheard, and still showing up.
Awesome. Bye, guys.